Honestly, I don't think I've ever looked cooler in my life. That's cool. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name's Tori. I am the vocalist and songwriter for my band, Ashdawn. We do alternative rock, post-punk, or literally whatever. Post-punk? Nah, pop-punk, or like whatever we want to do, really. We write whatever we want to write. So I've like been performing my whole life, but I kind of just within the past couple of years, I really started like studying music and like my voice. And I started kind of like around when my band formed. So this video, I want to share a couple of things that I've learned from my experience like out there performing and things like that I've learned as a vocalist as I study and kind of like learn my voice. If you're interested in what I have to say, or if you want to like see my voice again, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. On this channel, you're gonna be able to find more singing tips, interviews with other musicians, covers, and eventually my band's original music. So if you're interested in any of that, go ahead and, click like, subscribe. But I'm gonna get into the good stuff here soon, so stick around. So I've been like thinking about shows, right? Like, I've been thinking about, apparently, like Fauci said that maybe we could have concerts in the fall, but like also I hear he said that like we won't be able to not wear a mask until 2022. I don't know which one is real, but what I do know is that when I perform live again, I want to be like literally as ready as possible. I wouldn't want like all the music that me and my guitarist Mike have been working on for me to just like drop the ball and like not be good. So I've been thinking about like how to take this time and use it the best as I possibly can in order to ensure that like whatever shows, whenever we're able to do them, they're going to be like top notch and like better than they were 2 years ago. Cause like that's what we're supposed to do as artists. And yeah, that's just what we're supposed to do as artists is like learn, grow, evolve, get better. So that's what I'm trying to do. Learn, grow, evolve, and get better. And in order to do that, I've been thinking about specific habits that I can like start employing in order to make sure that happens for me. So I have compiled about like 5 tips or so about 5 tips that I'm going to start, or 5 habits that I'm going to start employing. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. Maybe it might help. And if it doesn't help, then well, I guess I'm sorry. So one of the habits that I really want to like start in 2021 is really prioritizing practice. And I know that can feel super like self-important to prioritize practicing singing when there's like so much crazy stuff going on in the world. Yeah, I mean, there are some days where I even find it hard to get out of bed, much less like set up my space for practice. And it can be overwhelming to sometimes like try to get over all of the things that I have created, try to get over some of the things that like I've created amidst me like not getting out of bed, stuff around the house piling up. Yeah, so it's just kind of been my goal to make like a daily routine for myself. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like wake up at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, make a smoothie. Like it's not necessarily that. Like even if it's just like get out of bed, take a shower, and make some food for yourself. Those are the things that I want to get done during the day. I just want to make sure that like within that day that like practice is included, because just like I said, like I don't want so many years to go past. Like the last time we played a show was in 2019. So I don't want years to go past and like me not improve. So I just want to spend that time practicing because in the long run, it's going to benefit me, So that's where I'm at. I'm thinking I need to prioritize practice. And also, obviously, prioritize practice in the way that, like, I don't want to be limited. I want to be able to express myself in whatever way that I want to, as opposed to be like limited by like actual like physical things. I want to like be able to take those physical things and make them fit what I want to express, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to push myself and make myself uncomfortable, but I do want to have the ability to express myself the way I want to, if that makes sense. So I think that comes through practice, so that's what I'm gonna do. So the second habit that I'm really gonna start employing in 2021, this is actually like a tip that was recently given to me. Well, not really recently, but like I got a better method of it. But basically, like, is finding the vowels that work best for your voice and the sound that you want, and is also like healthiest for your vocal cords. So I have a vocal coach that kind of like exists in like musical theater actor space. Not really where I live, but I think that that doesn't mean that any of the tips that he has for me don't really apply to me. Like I can take really whatever I need to from the practices that we have and apply them to my practice and like what I do as, I guess, a rock type vocalist, pop vocal, whatever, man. And recently he's kind of taught me basically you place your voice right up there in the mask, like where it's supposed to be, and you kind of like move your face around in order to like find where that particular vowel like resonates best for you. I'm not gonna like demonstrate it because like I had to pay for that tip and like so do you. So, but yeah, so just kind of being able to find what works best for your voice. But like as you listen to your favorite singers and you kind of like dissect like what is going on in the actual recording versus what's going on in the lyrics, you can kind of see how singers shift their vowels to fit the note and like where they're placing their voice better. So the first thing that comes to mind is literally like In Sync. You know, it's gonna be me. Justin Timberlake doesn't say it's gonna be me. He said it's gonna be May. So like, you know, just those kinds of things. I think, you know, as I'm recording my own original stuff, like figuring out what vowel is gonna work best for that word and also but also not modifying it so much that it's not recognizable. But like my vocal coach says, I mean, if it's really so unrecognizable, they can just go look up the lyrics, or like people can just go look up the lyrics. So, you know, just figure out what works best, sounds best. So pretty much just finding what vowels work best for me. Yeah, so I think you should also do that. And speaking about my vocal coach, I think that it's very important for me. Like this is something that I've already been doing, but I kind of want to continue and move that on into 2021 and beyond. Is like having somebody to be accountable to. It doesn't necessarily mean like it's hard like as somebody who's kind of more like an indie musician, kind of like new, up and coming, whatever. It's hard to be like, I have a vocal coach. Like it sounds kind of like bougie. Like what do you need a vocal coach for? Like it's kind of like imposter syndrome, right? You're like, what do I need that for? I'm nobody. Don't mean to say it like that, but like, you know what I mean. But honestly, like, I don't know. And I think pretty much any singer will say, like, I don't know really what I would do without having a vocal coach, because I really transformed as a singer in like kind of a short amount of time, to be honest. I would say like going in, I wasn't like the worst singer, but you know, I was like blowing out my voice every time I did a performance. So that's not gonna work. That's not healthy. So it was just something that I needed. Having somebody to be accountable to doesn't necessarily have to mean like getting a vocal coach. I know it can be like expensive, but like for me as a musician, that is something that I find as essential. And so I make room in my budget for that. But like, that's a different topic for another day. Me having that accountability helps me to like remember to practice, because it's like, okay, every Friday I have a coaching session. That's going to remind me to work on my song throughout the week, because once I get to Friday, it's going to be like, oh, I didn't practice the song. I'm sure my coach could figure out something else better that we could do that day, but like if you're not taking the initiative, you're kind of just wasting your money. So, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to go out and get a vocal coach. It can also be somebody who you trust and who has your best interest in mind when it comes to like healthy placement and healthy singing. You guys can kind of like trade tips essentially, like kind of listen to each other, look at each other's posture, mouth placement, all that type of stuff, and kind of help each other that way. That could maybe be a good option. Not really anything that I've ever tried, but maybe you could try that. But yeah, so it's just about having somebody who's in your corner, who you're accountable to. And that, I mean, that's something that you need for like a lot of different things, right? So yeah, so just having someone to be accountable to ensure that ensure that you as an artist are growing, essentially. Accountability. 2021. Gang gang. Okay, so habit number 4. I want to make an effort to be more honest with myself. So I want to be able to like be objective about my performance as a singer in the same way that an athlete would like watch tapes of their games, or a dancer might watch a tape of their performance to like see where they may or may not have mistakes. I want to make sure that I'm recording myself more and listening to myself more and looking at myself through an objective lens instead of like a self-hate lens. I think every singer has dealt with the hating their own voice phase. I'm not sure that I'm like completely out of that phase yet, but I think I'm getting there, and it's a beautiful thing, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, just like making those recordings and listening to them and like looking at them in a very like pinpointed way, right? So that note, was it correct? Did it sound good when you sang it? And sounding good is kind of objective. Like, was it like pinging in forward? Did it sound like it was placed correctly? And honestly, did it like feel good in your voice as you sang it? So yeah, I think we're just like ditching self-hate in 2021. Or maybe I'm the only one. Maybe it's just me ditching self-hate in 2021. Anyway, yeah, just being honest with yourself, recording yourself more, and being able to almost be your own coach while also getting that outside evaluation and kind of comparing the two and kind of see where you stand. And in the same way, like, what better way to be objective than like sitting down with like a digital system, whether that's a tuner, a digital keyboard, pick a scale, you go through your do re mi's. I don't really know solfege, but like, you know, you go through the key and you sing it to yourself, and then you play the notes and you see if they matched. I think the most difficult thing for somebody like me, who is a sort of a self-taught singer and is like more recently coming into learning music as opposed to just like trying to copy their favorite singers. Pitch can be the most difficult thing. You just aren't aware of like literally how to be in tune with your voice. And what I mean by in tune, I mean literally in tune, like not like feeling it there. Like it's not like a woo-woo thing. It's like literally being in tune. Yeah, I mean, and it starts from so many places, and without the instruction of like being aware of like things in your body and like what's working and what's not, it's really difficult. So not to go back to the previous point, but I think that instruction is very important. But yeah, like I said, that's a difficult thing for people like me who started out as like a self-taught singer. Pitch is kind of the most important thing really for anybody. That's kind of the base situation, because like, let's say you go to a karaoke bar. Does it really matter if you're screaming a E flat 5 if like E flat isn't even in the key? Like, it doesn't matter. You just that pitch thing is so important, like working on your ear and like being able to listen to a track and like know what key it's in and know how to even write to it. That's even like a songwriter thing. Like, you can sing notes that are out of key, but in order to sing notes that are out of key, you have to have the ear that like is able to distinguish, okay, well, I can sing this note here because it's in the chord, or whatever chord that I'm making, or I'm changing the key for this one measure. Like, these are things that you have to know. You can't just be flighty about it if you want to do something that you are trying to reach a wide audience out there. Like, there's a place for experimental music, but it's not in the mainstream. Like, not saying that I'm gonna go mainstream, but for anybody who's listening and maybe is a lot further along in their journey than I am. Oh my God, I said journey. Who's a lot further along than I am. Yeah, just be working on your ear. Like, that pitch thing is so important. Get yourself a keyboard. You don't have to know how to play. You just have to know what the notes are. You have to be able to replicate what you hear. And I think that the digital portion is very important because it's never going to be out of tune. A traditional piano can get out of tune. That's part of having a piano, is tuning it. So just get yourself a keyboard, a digital keyboard that's always in tune, and practice with that. That's what I'm going to do. That's a habit that I'd like to create. Those are the 5 tips that I am employing in 2021 for making myself a better singer and a better performer and a better musician all around. Again, if you like videos like this or you want more singing tips, go ahead and like and subscribe. It means more than you think. We post to this channel on Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Tuesdays, I do something called Tight Track Tuesday, where I talk about new music, music that's new to me, or music that's not new at all, but I just think is cool. This most recent Tight Track Tuesday featured the most recent one I recorded. This is pre-recorded. I don't know when this is going up. Anyway, I was just like a real YouTuber. Listen to me. Oh my God. So yeah, anyway, I sometimes interview musicians and put them in my Tight Track Tuesdays and feature their tracks. And Saturdays are just days where I just post whatever I want. This is probably going up on a Saturday. But you could definitely expect more videos like this in the future where I talk about wellness when it comes to singing. You can find me at my band's social media pages. We're mostly on Facebook and Instagram, both of which are at Ashdawn Band. That'll be on the screen for you and also in the description. Anyway, I think that's it for me. Again, this is the coolest I'll ever look and probably the coolest I will ever look. Yeah, so like, share, and subscribe. And